Good evening and welcome to the annual PFLAG Scholarship Awards ceremony. And tonight's a special night. We're here together to celebrate Northeast Florida's LGBT plus excellence live with you. And I have to say, for years, I've always been a fan of PFLAG, and in particular our chapter here in Jacksonville, who have always stood to support our community. True power to the people. Always been a fan. And now it's a little serendipitous that I stand here tonight, actually, to share this moment with you guys and host this evening and welcoming you to our future. Among the past scholars, actually, and recipients is actually my co-host right here, the effervescent, as I always say, Angel Russell.
Thank you, Mindy.
Yeah.
I am so excited. Like, genuinely, people say, like, oh, I'm honored to be here, and it's like a standard greeting, but I couldn't mean it more. As Mindy said, 4 years ago, I was at my very first PFLAG scholarship event, and I was there as a recipient. I will say that the financial impact these scholarships have on students cannot be overstated. But more importantly, these scholarships are, for many of us, the very first time that someone has ever looked at us and seen scholars and queer folks at the same time. In a world where we're constantly being told that being LGBT plus is weird or different, this is a unique moment where we're taken seriously in our queer identities and acknowledged for our academic achievements and professional potential. In fact, PFLAG is a group of folks who believe in us so much that they invest in our success. PFLAG is a group of folks who are so proud of us that they showcase us on amazing nights like this. Many times throughout my academic and professional careers, I have been told to look or act less overtly LGBT because it's unprofessional and I won't be taken seriously.
Well.
Thankfully, and thanks in part to the folks at PFLAG and the folks at the UNF LGBT Center, shout out, I know that's not true. Throughout all of that, I've been able to hold strong, due in no small part to my memory of standing in front of my partner and my family and my future colleagues at a PFLAG scholarship dinner. I had bright purple hair and a fancy new dress, and I was talking proudly about my future plans as an out and proud scholar, educator, and activist. And look, y'all, it's a good investment because here I am doing the thing. So if you're not sure that you're making a difference, let me tell you without equivocation that you are. Tonight we will hear from many wonderful scholars, folks, donors, PFLAG board members, other scholarship alumni. We thank you so much for joining us and for supporting past, present, and future generations with your donations to PFLAG. The future is bright and the future is queer. Now, without further ado, our PFLAG president, the illustrious Jonathan Stem.
Hello and welcome and good evening to our annual scholarship celebration. My name is Jonathan Stem. I am your current chapter president. Things are a little different this year. Under normal circumstances, we would be working closely with our partner, the UNF LGBT Resource Center, to meet with you in person and have a wonderful banquet. This year, on behalf of PFLAG Jacksonville, I want to say thank you to everyone who is joining us virtually in these uncertain times. And a very special thanks goes out to Out Jax Radio Studios, who, without their help, this event would not be possible. For a little information, I would like to read our vision and mission. Our vision, PFLAG envisions a world where diversity is celebrated and all people are respected, valued, and affirmed, inclusive of their sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression. And our mission, by meeting people where they are and collaborating with others, PFLAG realizes its vision through support of families, allies, and people who are LGBT+, education for ourselves and others about the unique issues and challenges facing people who are LGBT+, and advocating in our communities to change attitudes and create policies and laws that achieve full equality for people who are LGBT+. It is our hope that next year we will be able to meet with you in person in a live banquet and share our stories with the scholars firsthand. So without further ado, I'd like to start our program by hearing from our founding mother, Frida Saraga, as she gives a brief history about our chapter and the scholarship program. Thank you and enjoy the program.
Hello to our virtual audience. This is something new for us for our scholarship banquet, and I hope that many of you are out there. We will miss you having you at a banquet, but we know that you are safe at home. A little bit of information about our scholarship program. Our scholarship program started in 1996, and we gave out $500 scholarships to 3 or 4 people. In July of 2003, we started giving 1,000 in the fall and 1,000 in the spring. These scholarships are given to members of the LGBT community, and they fill out their applications, and we have a scholarship committee of educators in the city who choose the recipients. Many of our recipients have gone on to be doctors, lawyers, nurses, educators, and in all fields. We've given out scholarships to people who went to school as far away as Iceland and within the United States also. The scholarship program has been one of the most important things that our PFLAG chapter has done. We are the only PFLAG chapter in the state of Florida that is giving out these scholarships. Since we started, we've given out approximately to 345 recipients over $420,000. Only with the help of all of you who are looking tonight can we continue to do this. Those $2,000 scholarships are given out in increments of, the first 1,000 is given to them this evening. It's already being on its way sent to them. Plus, in the spring, they will get another $1,000 after they send us their grades and their registration for the next semester, and also a paper about what it has meant to them. This scholarship money is unrestricted. It does not go through the school. It goes to the person themselves, because there is more than just going to school and classes. Many times you have to eat. You have to buy gas for your car. So we want them to have everything that they need to continue their education. With your help, we hope that we can continue to do this for many, many years to come. We will appreciate anything that you choose to donate tonight, and we'll see your name on the ticker at the bottom of the screen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Frida, for speaking to us. You always like to refer to Frida as the godmother of the gays, so thank you so much for that. Also, now next, a message from our national organization, PFLAG National. Welcome.
Welcome. It's an honor to be a part of PFLAG's Jacksonville Scholarship Banquet. Congratulations to the scholarship recipients. I'm Sashel Brooks, PFLAG's National Southern Chapter Engagement Coordinator. My role offers support and guidance to the PFLAG Chapter Network to be able to serve their communities in the many ways that they do. It's easy to forget and bypass the work that goes into planning and coordinating the efforts of our PFLAG chapters. If anything, 2020 has reminded me the importance of celebrating and acknowledging the work that has been done and still needs to be done. Today, I get to shine a light on some of the fierce work and witness its impact. I applaud the PFLAG Jacksonville for their efforts to pivoting to a digital celebration, to finding ways to bring us together to celebrate the scholarship recipients and the community. It's not the first time they're doing this, and from their track record, I feel safe to say it won't be their last. For the last 25 years, PFLAG's Jacksonville Scholarship Program has awarded over $250,000 to local students who identify as gay, lesbian, bi, or transgender. They're the only PFLAG chapter in Florida to do so, and to continue to do so. I'm proud of this chapter's work and how they support their community, families, and LGBTQ collegians. This work matters, and I can't wait to see the impact that the scholarship recipients will have in the future. Congratulations to the scholarship recipients, to PFLAG Jacksonville, and your community. Be safe, be well.
And thank you, Seychelle Brooks, for that message.
Up next, we are going to hear a message from Charles Smyers. Charles is on the scholarship committee, and I just want to say thank you so much to the work that the scholarship committee does. I know you guys work really hard to comb through so many applications with some really dazzling people, and I don't know how you make the choices that you do, but we just all really appreciate it. So yeah, more on the scholarship committee and on the work that they do. Here's Charles.
Good evening. I've been proud and honored to have served on the Scholarship Selection Committee for many years now. I am always impressed, and this year has been no exception, with the caliber of our applicants in terms of their career goals, their academic scholarship, their commitment to our community, and to the LGBTQ+ community in particular. And when you hear the personal stories of these recipients, it makes the achievements of these individuals even more remarkable. However, such quality makes the selection process each year a very challenging and daunting task. With limited scholarship monies, unfortunately, we can select only a handful of recipients from so many deserving candidates. Fortunately, I have a wonderful group of colleagues who conscientiously, honestly, and thoroughly analyze each person's credentials, and then after much agonizing discussion, we always arrive at an agreeable consensus, which is so rare in today's world. Despite the challenge, we on the Scholarship Committee are always so gratified when we hear each year the heartwarming testimonials of our recipients on the importance of the PFLAG Scholarship for their being able to pursue their education. It is so rewarding to know that we have played a small part in helping these individuals to achieve their academic goals and career dreams. In conclusion, I'd like to offer my sincere congratulations to tonight's awardees. And based on the achievements of past recipients, I know you will soon be helping to make our world a safer, healthier, and more prosperous world for all LGBTQ+ citizens.
Thank you so much to Charles, and again to the rest of the Scholarship Committee. And while we are on the subject of the Scholarship Committee, you guys can be a part of the magic that happens with giving these scholarships out. So if you want to support PFLAG and you want to support the scholarships, all the information is on your screen to donate. And fun little known fact, if you donate live in this feed $1,000 or more, I get to shoot a money gun at Mindy. So please donate $1,000 so I can play with this amazing, with Mindy. I get to shoot a money gun with Mindy. So if you want to see Mindy and our guns, then donate.
Do it. It is a privilege to introduce to you the sponsor behind the William L. Weeks Memorial Scholarship, with an endearing message as to boot. But with that said, Mary Atwood, enjoy her message.
Tonight I want to share with you a few words about and a few words from my best friend, Bill Weeks. Bill was a proud member of our LGBTQ+ community and a tireless activist for the cause of equality, and he was by far one of the wisest people I have ever known. Bill often wrote notes to himself as a means of reinforcing ideas for self-improvement. On the day after his death, Bill's boss texted me a photo of a pink note card she found in his desk, which contained the following notes. Stop struggling. Clear away the clutter. Other people matter. Writing is your salvation. Don't assume you know the outcome. And support your strengths. While all of these statements are excellent advice for anyone, I would like to focus on his last 2 points in my message to this year's PFLAG Scholarship recipients. We are living in most unusual times at the moment. We face on a daily basis far more uncertainty than we could have imagined just a short time ago. Yet, we should not assume we know the outcome. If you take a moment to reflect back on struggles you have faced in the past, you will probably see that the outcome was often not what you assumed it would be. Bill and I discussed the concept of fear-based assumptions in late 2015 when I had recovered from a serious brain illness. Although we didn't discuss it at the time, we each had spent most of that year secretly wondering if I would survive my illness, and if I did survive, what permanent damage I might be left with. But in the end, I came through the experience with no serious impairment, and we had a long, heartfelt talk about the valuable lesson we both had learned in the process. Don't assume you know the outcome. Just 3 short years later, Bill was taken from us in a tragic accident. And I was reminded yet again, don't assume you know the outcome. That experience, as difficult and painful as it was, taught me something about my own inner strength, which is why Bill's last note to himself now holds the most meaning for me. And I would encourage all of you, our PFLAG scholars, to take it to heart as well. Support your strengths. Each of us has some special gift that is uniquely our own, some inner strength that if we try, we can utilize to make the world a better place. And now, under the challenging circumstances in which we find ourselves, our talents and strengths are needed much more than ever before. Furthering your education, whether in the classroom on campus or through distance learning via virtual classes, is certainly an excellent way to support your strengths. I am confident that through supporting your strengths and using them to serve others, you will find countless opportunities to alter the assumed outcome for someone else. And in so doing, you will have helped them to overcome their own greatest fears. And now it is my honor to introduce this year's William L. Weeks Memorial Scholarship recipient, a young man who is actively supporting his own strengths by pursuing his doctorate in educational leadership at the University of North Florida, Christopher Collinsworth. Tonight,
Good evening, my name is Christopher Collinsworth, and I'm a doctoral student at the University of North Florida. I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. Many years ago, I thought about applying for this scholarship, and a friend of mine nicely said to me, "But Chris, you're not out." And I said, "What do you mean I'm not out?" He told me, "Well, during the day, you're professional, Mr. C, and at night, you're a completely different person." I thought about for a while what he meant, but he did have a really good point. I was currently a first grade teacher at a parochial school. I love my faith, and it's a very important part of my life, but at the time, it was very problematic for me. I was ashamed of who I was. My voice tone would drop. I would quote unquote act straight. I would do my best to truly hide who I was. After my conversation with my friend, it really made me reflect. Was I really being the true model that I wanted to be for my students? I told them every day how important it was for them to always be themselves. I told them every day that they could be whoever they wanted to be. They could do whatever they wanted to do. But what was I doing? Currently, I'm an instructor in the Department of Exceptional Deaf and Interpreter Education at the University of North Florida. I'm excited every day, whether it now currently remotely or in face, to go into class and inspire these future educators to be the best that they can be. Working in the world of exceptional education is like there's no way to describe it. It's like every day in Disney World. These young people continue to inspire me and my colleagues to continue to advocate for them because they're so amazing. They always have smiles on their faces. They are their true, authentic selves all the time. I could not be more honored to have received this scholarship, especially the one in memory of Bill Weeks. I really do hope that the work that I do with my students, with the community, would make him proud. On behalf of my family, my husband Jay, my son Balin, we thank you so much, and congratulations to all the other recipients. Let's all continue to go out and be that change in the world. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Christopher Collinsworth, for holding the torch for our future.
All right, so next we're going to hear from Larshi Sutter. Larshi's a graduate student and budding researcher with a passion for public health. They're already making a tangible difference in our community with their work at Jasmine, touching the lives of queer youth throughout Jacksonville. So let's hear more from Larshi.
Greetings, my name is Larshi Sutter. I am 25 years old. I go by he, him, and they, them pronouns. Currently, I am a graduate student at the University of North Florida. I'm inside of their Master's in Public Health program with a focus in social behavioral sciences. I'm anticipating graduation next summer, August of 2021. Currently, I'm also employed at Jasmine. I work in their health services team as the HIV testing coordinator. We offer tons of great things at Jasmine. Just a part of the work that we do includes care coordination services for folks who are on PrEP or, say, living with HIV. We also facilitate programs which does offer and create brave spaces for a lot of young people in the area who identify as being queer as well. And we also do a lot of housing outreach and housing services for folks who may be housing unstable. Part of the work that we do at Jasmine ties very closely into my personal life because of just being queer and Black, honestly, is traumatizing in itself, especially when you're navigating in the South. On one end, you do have your queerness, which may not be accepted by your family members or close relatives and things of that nature, or even just navigating in certain spaces. And then on one end, I'm also Black, and being in spaces where implicit bias and aversive racism do happen can be extremely tough. And for me, being someone who navigates between both of those intersectional identities and have been doing it is extremely traumatizing and is very, very tough, to be completely honest with you. Part of the reason why I think that my work now is very, very important as well, and that I should continue to do this work, especially even if it's not in public health or working in infectious disease now, is to be able to continue to create brave spaces and safe spaces for young people who may share the same story as I do, especially those folks who identify as being, Black or Indigenous, and they're people of color as well. I'm so thankful for being chosen to receive this award, and I'm so excited for all the other recipients as well. Thank you again. Greetings.
Congratulations, Larshi. We are so thankful that you're here with us tonight.
And next is Brandy Camp of UNF, studying political science and on the track to pre-law. I'll be calling you. I hope not.
My name is Brandy Camp, and I am currently a junior at the University of Florida studying political science on the pre-law track. I am extremely grateful for PFLAG of Jacksonville for this opportunity, as I am aiming to attend law school in the future and study civil rights law. From pre-K 3 through my senior year of high school, I attended a private Catholic school. Although I am extremely thankful for the education I have received, the teachings and the environment of the Catholic Church have had a very negative impact on who I am. When I was in the 6th grade, I realized I was gay, but I couldn't come to terms with that just yet. In middle school, they started to teach us the importance of a good Catholic marriage being between a man and a woman. They did this through a religion class every Monday called Marriage Monday. My high school years were not any better. I spent most of my time going to church and forcing myself into religious activities in hopes that it would make me become straight. I became extremely depressed, trying to force myself to become someone I was not meant to be. Before my friends were even publicly out, some boys in our grade started to make fun of them and started to tell people in our grade that they were part of a secret lesbian club because of the ways that they looked and dressed. Around the same time, an ex-friend of mine started a rumor that I was gay, and people started to make fun of me as well. Parts of my family started to become suspicious, as one day a family member of mine asked me why I didn't have a boyfriend, and then proceeded to tell me I better not be a queer moron. In English class, a former teacher of mine pulled up a list of sexualities and started to make fun of them one by one, and then asked my classmates to vote on which one sounded the most ridiculous. That same year, my religion teacher showed us several documentaries about conversion camps and asked us to write a paper on why we thought they were successful. Another teacher of mine pulled up an article of pronouns and told us all of these pronouns were just synonyms for mentally ill, and told us that if we used the pronouns they, them in any of our writing, we would get points taken off. During my senior year, a teacher pulled me aside to tell me that if I knew anyone who was publicly out, they needed to lay low before administration sent them to the chapel to have a talk with a priest. It was because of experiences like these that I pretended to be straight and overworked myself to become someone I wasn't. Following graduation, I started to attend drag shows and local pride events where I felt the happiest. I wanted to feel like this all the time, so in June of 2020, I publicly came out on my social media. I lost followers, I was blocked by former classmates, I lost friends, but at the end of the day, I felt much better. My biggest fear with coming out was that the people I grew up with and the place I grew up in was going to hate me the most. I wasn't ready for the possibility of losing contact with former educators, classmates, and friends, people I had grown up with for 15 years of my life. My previous schools made me feel ashamed and embarrassed of who I am. And that's why I'm very excited to attend the University of Florida, and I am extremely grateful for PFLAG of Jacksonville for assisting me to get there. I am aiming to work extremely hard towards my goals of attending law school and studying civil rights law. Thank you again to PFLAG of Jacksonville for this opportunity.
And thank you, Brandy Camp. We believe in you.
All right, up next, I will admit I have a soft spot for this person. I sort of stacked the deck so that I could get the opportunity to introduce her. We have Jasmine Elise Graham. I worked with Jasmine alongside her at the UNF LGBT Resource Center for a number of years. And she is also a fellow PFLAG Scholarship alumnus and a student in the same program I got my graduate degree in. So our journeys have really mirrored each other in a lot of ways. And she's definitely moving through it with a lot more success than I did, I'm sure, because she's better at math than I am by a lot. She's brilliant. Her heart and her courage, though, are even bigger than her brain. And she's already touched the lives of so many humans that she has come in contact with. So let's hear more from Jasmine.
Hello, my name is Jasmine Elise Graham. I'm a second-year master's student at the University of North Florida. My program of study is the Master's of Science in Psychological Science. And my journey as an LGBT individual, as early as I can remember, starts around 6, where I was born male and I wanted to transition to a girl. But I was too scared and terrified and frightened at the time. And for many years, the same thing. Just wishing I would always be a girl. It wasn't until I got to UNF where I was part of a group activity that was talking about dreams. It made me think about my dream of wanting to transition to female. And because of that, it gave me I'm going to transition to female. And so I started looking up resources, discovering that there's an LGBT center at UNF, very useful to have. And I went, one of the first people I came out to was the assistant director at the time, but now former director, Caitlin Lay. And she gave me so many resources, so many resources that helped me along my path. And it also gave me the center itself, where I could feel comfortable about who I am. It allowed me to have more experiences, allowed me to actually figure out my major of all things for college. Because beforehand, I was just aimlessly wandering, not caring, kind of just I don't know what I want to do. And I finally discovered, I wanted to major in psychology. And then later I was like, I want to get a master's in psychology. And then later, and I also want to get eventually a PhD in psychology. And this is why for me, the PFLAG scholarship of Jacksonville scholarship means so much to me. Because without it, I would be having a lot more stresses. I would have to be like, is it really worth me going all the way for a master's degree or a PhD? Like, it gave me the motivation to continue going, to keep being a role model to other LGBT individuals, possibly. And it just allows me also to focus more on my studies. It allows me to not have to get a second job. It allows me to start applying for PhD programs. And because of all of this, I give a big thank you to all the people who support the PFLAG of Jacksonville and their scholarship. Because without it, I don't know where I would be. And I want to give a big thank you once again. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Jasmine, and thank you for being part of our scholarship family.
And now I'd like to introduce Dan Andrews, presenting the Ron Saruga Memorial Scholarship.
Hello and good evening. The scholarship for 2020 recipient Craig McFarland is sponsored by Doug Degenhart in memory of Ron Saruga. My name is David Andrus. I am the treasurer for PFLAG of Jacksonville, and I'm going to read the tribute to Ron Saruga on Mr. Degenhart's behalf. Ron Saruga was a proud gay man and activist. He loved Jacksonville and started SPAR, the Springfield Preservation and Restoration Society, serving as its first president. Before he died of AIDS in 2003, he led the way by starting a generous endowment for PFLAG of Jacksonville Scholarship Fund. His commitment to Jacksonville and the LGBT community lives on. Congratulations, Craig, and thank you, Doug Degenhart. Hello, and good evening.
Hi, my name is Craig McFarland, and I'm a freshman in Harvard's class of 2024. I am majoring in molecular and cellular biology, or chemical and physical biology, with a minor in linguistics. So, like others, I've encountered my fair share of homophobia, particularly during my formative years. From an ignorant boy writing in bold, big letters, Craig is gay in middle school, and hearing that adjective used derogatively even today to my own father, with whom I'm no longer in contact, calling me a faggot at the ripe age of 6, and my past church preaching about the sin of homosexuality, I've witnessed from a very early age and repeatedly that being gay is not necessarily something perceived as good by many of the people in our society. And through these homophobic foundations, the basis upon which I grew was nowhere near conducive to the expression of sexuality, of my sexuality that I so desperately desired and needed. I lived in both fear and self-hatred, hoping to pray the gay away like many others. I dated girls, played sports, even pretended I enjoyed the god-awful game of football, and essentially lied to myself and lied to others about my sexuality. And so the question today is, what exactly caused me to accept myself, to be able to openly pronounce my fabulous homosexuality in front of you all? And well, for me, it was not necessarily one defining moment nor one impactful individual, but rather a beautiful mosaic of role models and representation. It was in having an extremely flamboyant Puerto Rican chemistry professor my 9th grade year, who was quite easily the most intelligent and well-respected man I've ever met. It was watching Love, Simon, a movie that actually had a happy ending for the gays, 6 times in secret and crying each time out of solidarity. Lastly, it was in filling my YouTube watch history with endless, infinite streams of my coming out stories and Joy Graceffa's I'm Gay, and searching up quizzes titled Am I Gay? Just so that I can finally accept myself and accept who I am for what I am. And having stated this, I persevered and became the proud gay that I am because of role models and representation, the two entities that I find the most important in educating our youth and making our LGBTQ plus youth more proud of who they are. My pride is a divine infusion of all those coming out videos and gay coming of age novels, movies, quizzes, and all those LGBTQ plus individuals in my community inside and out of Jackson on the screen. And because of the importance of role models representation, my goal in life is to provide that very inspirational representation that was so integral to me. And standing before you, I'm proud to say that I've tried to do just that. I was my school's first openly gay valedictorian, and in my valedictory speech, I called out and addressed some of the homophobia that was present in my school. I've established my own organization, Lunar Solar Incorporated, to help LGBTQ plus youth with financial assistance and mentorship. And lastly, after having been accepted into all the Ivy League universities and other great colleges, I was given opportunities to speak to queer youth around the world, in Spain, Thailand, Singapore, Philippines, and other places about my experience, some of which included me as a gay individual and having to overcome that barrier of homophobia that's so ingrained in our society. And I'm standing or sitting before you, a scholarship recipient of the PFLAG of Jack Scholarship, for which I'm so beyond grateful, as this will allow me to dedicate more time to my studies and less about worrying about the stress of having to pay for college, an institution, in my opinion, that's way too expensive. But now I hope to thrive through Harvard and go into a field where I can truly benefit and help our community that has honestly served as my second home, be it as a politician lobbying for human rights or a STEM researcher hoping to one day cure AIDS. Because at the end of the day, representation always and forever will matter.
Congratulations, Craig. Harvard is lucky to have you. And if you ever want to geek out about HIV research, let me know.
Our next presenter and sponsor is someone actually near and dear to my heart, actually, as a friend, and makes me quite the fangirl, to be quite honest.
Look at us like going for our babies.
I'm just saying. But she is, and she always inspires me, and she always motivates me to be the best person that I can be in this world and in business. And it is my honor to present to you Elizabeth Evans. Betsy.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Evans, and I am thrilled this year to be part of PFLAG's Scholarship Celebration. This is my first year being part of the Scholarship Fund, and I was very excited to have the opportunity to connect with my scholarship recipient, Nora, a few weeks ago. A little bit about Nora, and I think you're going to hear from her tonight. She is an environmental engineering grad, soon to be, at the University of Florida, and she's really focused on sustainability, our environment, and recycling and waste management. For me, that really hit home. I own 2 construction companies in Jacksonville. I'm a general contractor and roofing contractor, and it's a big part of our business too. We recognize that construction takes a wear and tear on the environment, and we also know that some of our older buildings, it takes time and energy for us to go back in and retrofit them to today's technology. But ultimately, the goal is to save our environment. So I'm really excited for the opportunity to connect with you as a gay woman and business owner in Jacksonville, and someone that really is invested in the education of our youth and next generation, which is you. This is actually one of 2 scholarships that I support, one at the elementary school level at a private school in town that had a formative impact on my experience, the Montessori school, and then now with the opportunity to sponsor Nora and other PFLAG members in future years. So a little bit about me. I mentioned at the start my name, that I own a couple businesses. Well, I'm also a lieutenant colonel in the Florida Army National Guard. I've been in the service for 24 years, 4 years at the academy, graduating, and now spending the last 20 years around the world, and actually in Norfolk, Virginia right now. So with my service to the Army, that's kind of my story, and where, if I'd have known about PFLAG at the time and my family had known about PFLAG, it probably would have been something great for me to connect with. For those of you that don't remember, there was a time in our history that being LGBTQ was illegal in the military. And so I spent the first 12 years in uniform around soldiers up until 2012, really living a double life. And it really called me to question what the Army thought of me if they knew that I was actually a gay woman. And it created a lot of angst. I didn't know if there was going to be a day that somebody saw me someplace, or just made an accusation, and my entire career with the military would be in jeopardy. When Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed in 2012, I was actually stationed up in Washington, D.C., working at the Pentagon, and it was a celebration. It was a day, it was freedom, but we were also scared to celebrate. And I'll even say today, in 2020, just talking to a fellow officer about, a girlfriend, or my two friends that, are married and they're both women, and it still gives me angst, and every day I get excited because it's like, I didn't say anything out of the ordinary. So that's where we are in today's military. We have a lot of support, a lot of strength, and I'm really thrilled to be at the rank that I am and continuing to serve so that I can be that ambassador for our community and really continue to shape minds and thoughts about the amazing people that each of us are. And you each are a fantastic representation, not just of the LGBTQ community, but our youth and our next generation. I'm counting on you. A lot of us are counting on you. Keep up the great work, and thanks for letting me be part of your night of celebration. Have a good night.
My name is Nora Brown, and I'm a senior at the University of Florida. In December, I'll be graduating with my degree in environmental engineering after 3.5 years of study. Throughout college, I've been really lucky to have had a couple internship experiences. Last summer, my internship brought me to the DC area, and I was really excited because I'd never been to DC before, and now I was getting to live and work there. I found out that my stay coincided with the DC Pride Parade, and I knew I'd have to go to that. At that point, I had only been to River City Pride and Gainesville Pride, both of which have nothing on DC Pride. 400,000 people lined the streets of DC, and my intern friends and I were right at the beginning of the parade, where everyone had the most energy. The parade went on and on, it seemed endless. And I was having the time of my life, until people started running. In a huge moment of confusion, I was swept off the sidewalk as people ran to get away from some unknown threat. I dove into the bushes and stayed there as long as I could, until other people started getting up again. Things had calmed down. I don't remember how long it took, but I eventually found my friends again. We were together, and we thought we were safe at that point. But then the second wave hit. People were running and screaming again. We still had no idea what was going on, so we dove into an alley this time, staying together. But I was leading the pack, and I had 6 people shoving me from behind when I got stuck between a trash can and the alley wall. I was afraid they were going to topple me over and trample me. I don't remember how, but I managed to get myself unstuck, and in the alley I called my mom. I let her know that I didn't know what was going on, but I thought I was safe where I was. In the alley, we waited for some sort of information from the internet, anything. We flirted with the idea of hopping the wall into a neighbor's backyard, where we would have been stuck in trash passing, but we would have been safe. We didn't end up doing that, and eventually we did find out through Twitter that things seemed okay and we were safe to emerge from our hiding spot. I don't remember how we got from there to the restaurant where we had dinner that night. But I do know that as soon as I had the chance to sit down after that, I called a friend and sobbed. If you're thinking you haven't heard of a shooting at DC Pride, it's because there wasn't one. A misunderstanding led to a chain reaction of people running and then running for their lives. But it was completely plausible to me as an American that someone with a gun and a hatred of the LGBTQ community was attacking Pride. As a Floridian, I could never forget that it's already happened in Orlando. The fact that there was no shooter that day does not change the fear that I felt. It does not change the fact that I know in my heart there are people out there who would see me dead just for being gay. But I made a commitment that day on the phone to my friend that I would not live my life in fear. While I was not ready to go back to the Pride again the next day, I did go back to Gainesville Pride in October. I will not give in to the hate, because I know even through tragedy, love will win. I'm so grateful to PFLAG Jax for advocating for the LGBTQ community and only voicing love and acceptance. I am also grateful to Elizabeth Evans for sponsoring my scholarship. It is with their help that I will be able to graduate this December. I hope to go into the waste management field of environmental engineering, advancing the world of recycling and sustainable waste management innovation, while always carving out a space for myself as a strong gay woman. Thank you. My name is...
Thank you so much for that, Nora.
And up next is a word from Joe Barton from the Northeast Florida LGBTQ Fund. And I'd like to say, without you, we wouldn't be here without you guys. Thank you.
Hi, this is Joe Barton. I'm the current chairman of the LGBTQ Community Fund for Northeast Florida. We are very excited to be able to provide a grant this year for the PFLAG scholarship recipients. We are so proud of what you all have achieved, both in your community, in your schools, and we're very excited of what the future holds for each and every one of you. We're sure that whatever you choose to do, whatever you choose in life to accomplish, looking at what you've done already, that there are no goals that are high enough, that you will achieve whatever you need to do. We are very honored to be a part of this journey for you and very excited to see what the future holds for you. Good luck in everything that you achieve. I know that we would love to be there in person to give you a hug and send you on your way, but please know that we're in your hearts, we're thinking about you, and we're very proud of what you've done and what you're going to do in the future. So we're glad to be able to provide money to help with these scholarships, and we look forward to the future and what the future holds. Thank you.
We are so grateful to the LGBT Fund for their consistent and continued support of the queer community here in Northeast Florida. Sponsors like you are what make scholarships like these possible. You're making a difference in the lives of those around you and impacting future generations of LGBT professionals.
Our next recipient is Robert Arroyo Arengo, class of 2024.
Hello, PFLAG of Jacksonville. My name is Robert Arroyo Arengo, and I will be attending Florida State University. I'm planning to major in business management, and I will be going this year as a freshman, so that means I will be graduating class of 2024. First of all, I would like to say that I'm extremely honored to be the recipient of a scholarship from such a pride-driven organization. As someone who is a very proud gay Latino, I will assure you guys that I will uphold my responsibilities as a recipient and will go with pride wherever I go. In all honesty, I have to admit that I had a hard time believing that I would get this scholarship at all, and I would just like to thank Mr. Randall Lesson, if you're watching, my high school's GSA sponsor, English teacher, and overall wise individual of everything gay in Jacksonville, for believing in me, even when I didn't do it myself. See, when I was a little kid growing up in Puerto Rico, I had a hard time seeing a future for myself other than what people expected of me. I even went as far as to thinking that there was something wrong with me, simply because the idea of having a girlfriend or a wife, it just never sat right with me. It didn't seem possible. But being exposed to la machismo, it seemed like nothing else was possible either. Having a same-sex couple just felt unacceptable. Nonetheless, after years of denying my sexuality, I moved to the US, and suddenly I was in this environment that didn't seem as fazed by same-sex couples, and accepted the idea of being in a relationship with another person that was also a man. Suddenly all these ideas and opportunities came available to me, and I felt like I could do anything regardless of my sexuality. It was here in Jacksonville that I came to terms with my sexuality, and it's also here in Jacksonville that, in a way, I'm being celebrated for being openly who I am and for not letting my sexuality stop me from being who I want to be in life. Because of this, I would like to thank PFLAG for giving me the opportunity to pursue my education after high school into college, and I would like to thank Dr. Lesson and anyone and everyone who also believed in me, because I wouldn't be where I am today without them, and I appreciate everything they've done for me. Thank you. Have a good day. Hello, PFLAG.
Robert, we support you and believe in your success.
And speaking of successes, let's not forget our past successes. One such fabulous human is Randy Lesson. Randy is a 4-time PFLAG scholarship recipient.
Wow.
I know. Who is currently working as an English instructor at FSCJ. Talk about success.
Yeah.
Get it, Randy. Let's hear more from Randy about what he's doing and how he got there.
Hello, my name is Randy Lesson, and I am a 4-time PFLAG of Jacksonville scholarship recipient. As a scholarship recipient, I had an opportunity to address you all at UNF's University Center. However, unfortunately, today, due to COVID-19, we cannot meet and socialize and celebrate with this year's recipients at UNF. However, I am pleased and honored to address you in this video. From 2010 to 2013, I spoke about my dreams and aspirations in pursuing a doctorate in higher education administration. After I received my last scholarship, I was happy to achieve one of my dreams, which has been to teach English at a college level. This was due in part to speaking at the annual scholarship banquet and meeting former selection committee member Dr. Margot Martin. As a result of meeting Dr. Martin, I've been working at FSCJ as an adjunct English instructor. Not only has the scholarship allowed me to reach one of my dreams, it has also given me the opportunity to speak to others about the scholarship and how it will help them reach their dreams. The scholarship for me and other LGBT students has been a stepping stone on our path to achieving our dreams. And because we could not have reached our dreams without it, I would encourage all of you to donate to the PFLAG of Jacksonville Scholarship Fund. If you have donated already, thank you. If you are thinking about donating, please do so and help others like me to reach their dreams. Thank you to all who have helped me along the way, and thank you to the PFLAG of Jacksonville Scholarship Fund for all you have done in making dreams come true.
Randy, thank you for serving our community and our future scholars the way that you do. You really make the difference for all of us.
Absolutely. Thanks, Randy. All right, so next we have Terrell Jackson. I am excited to get to introduce Terrell. Terrell has been changing lives all throughout Jacksonville for some time now with his work in multiple organizations as a PrEP navigator. For those who don't know, PrEP is a pill you take once a day to protect yourself against HIV. Now, Terrell is embarking on a new chapter as a student at NYU, and we wish him all the best. Here's more from Terrell.
Hello, my name is Terrell Jackson, and I am a student of NYU, or New York University. I'm getting my master's degree in healthcare administration. I graduate in December of 2021. First and foremost, I want to say thank you guys so much for choosing me and recognizing me as your recipient for this year's PFLAG scholarship. It is truly humbling and an honorable decision based upon the platform that you guys hold when it comes to supporting the community and pushing the needle forward to more equitable resources for those trying to do more, especially within the LGBTQ community. I come from a small hometown with a strong historical presence as it pertains to civil rights for Blacks and African Americans. Seeing that part of my identity being empowered and advocated for even to this day is, very uplifting and monumental. Unfortunately, that's not the only part of who I am. And unfortunately, that's the rest of those parts aren't always visible or empowered as they should be. Being that, yes, I am part of the Black community, I am also part of the queer community, and I'm also part of the Black queer community. So there's a lot of experiences that are there. But coming from a very small conservative area with low resources, the only real tool that I had was the one that was still developing up here. So from that, I developed, ideas or strategies of, who I needed to be or what I needed to do to become who I thought I should be. It's opened the door for some amazing engagements, but it's also created some more barriers and stops in the road to my overall growth. I dealt with a lot of macro and microaggressions from a lot of communities that didn't understand me or thought that I wasn't a part or I shouldn't have been a part of their groups. I dealt with hate from the Black community for being gay. I dealt with hate from the gay community for being Black. And then in those spaces where I did find people who were Black and gay, queer, those systems or those spaces weren't always promoting positivity amongst that identity, or promoting a sense of guidance or instruction. There was no manual, there was no pamphlet, there was no Bible. So you ended up having to figure it out on yourself. Luckily, I've met a lot of great people who have helped and assisted me and provided some real, true mentorship on how I can be more empowered to stand up for myself, but also to be at one with myself and all those parts of me that exist within that framework. From that experience and from that engagement, it's really sparked for me the need to guide and create more systems that alleviate those barriers that could be faced by those coming behind us. My hope for the future is that with scholarships like this, they give more of a platform for Black people, Black queer people to do more and to create better systems, whether it be through mental health, prevention, education, any kind of advocacy that's out there. It's very important that we create the stones and we set a new trend and we set a new path in history for those that are coming behind us. So once again, thank you guys so much for the opportunity, and yes, keep on doing what you're doing. I truly appreciate that, and congrats to all the other candidates.
Thank you so much
Hello.
for your passion, Terrell. We wish you all the best at NYU. Next up, we want to welcome Jacob Siegelbaum. Jacob is a member of the Out and Proud division of Johnson & Johnson Vision. Johnson & Johnson Vision has come on board as one of the more recent donors for PFLAG of Jacksonville, and we are so grateful for their generosity. Let's hear more from Jacob.
Hi scholars, this is Jacob from Johnson & Johnson's Open and Out, and I want to say for myself and on behalf of the rest of my team how proud I am of you for representing our community and taking charge of your futures. Knowledge is power, and we are so excited to see where these next steps take each of you on your individual journeys. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Johnson & Johnson Vision and Jacob, for that message. Next, we welcome a true light in our community and a person we all hold in very high esteem, past recipient Jonathan Joseph.
Hello everyone, I am Jonathan Joseph, and I am a former recipient of PFLAG's Scholarship Award. I'm here to congratulate those of you who are 2020 awardees. It's definitely an honor. I know it was for me. And if you guys have been in the situation that I have been in, I know that this scholarship is definitely very important to you. I went through the time where I had difficulty getting funding from the government. My personal income was not enough to support me going to school, though it was something I really wanted to do. And so getting that funding or that money, that scholarship from PFLAG really, really made a difference. I lived in Jacksonville and went to Flagler College, which meant it was a 18-mile round trip to go to school and back. Gas at that time was expensive, so it was challenging and definitely challenging to my pocket. But I was able to get my degree, be able to go to school and succeed because PFLAG was there to help me. I know PFLAG this scholarship means the same for you. This scholarship is just as important for you. And so I encourage you to do your best. Don't fail us. In fact, I know you won't. I know you will do great. I have not known one person who've gotten this scholarship to disappoint. So I know you guys will do great. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be something that, you may think that you may not be able to do, but I know you can. So go out there, do your best, make PFLAG proud. I try my best to make PFLAG proud in everything that I do, in the way that I present myself. And so I know you will do the same. PFLAG has been great to me. That funding was great in order to help me to continue my education. And I know that it will be the same for you. So again, my congratulations, and you guys, I wish you the greatest success in your life.
Jonathan Joseph, thank you for that encouragement, actually. It's uplifting to know that you can really achieve anything that you want to, especially when you are backed by family. And this year, backing us as family is an additional sponsor, and we want to thank ViStar for not only caring more, creating more opportunities for us to sponsor other scholars and whatnot, but also you're giving back to the community that you serve. And for that, we really appreciate you making this all happen furthermore. So please welcome the words of Amanda Crawford from ViStar.
I'm Amanda Crawford, the Vice President of Community Engagement and Sponsorships for ViStar Credit Union. It's my pleasure to announce Logan Dykes as the winner of the ViStar PFLAG Scholarship. We selected Logan because of his character, kindness, and compassion for others. He is ambitious, resourceful, and passionate about the LGBTQ community. Brave is another word to describe Logan. Brave for competing in the Mr. and Miss Ed White pageant. Congratulations on first runner-up. We applaud your success of launching the Q&A club at your school, for connecting with an internship at Jasmine, and finally for continuing your education and following your dreams of social work and impacting the lives of many others. Our hope is that this scholarship will allow you to pay it forward as you continue to be an advocate for those without a voice. Never forget, let your smile change the world, but don't let the world change your smile. Congratulations, Logan, and best of luck.
Hello, everyone. My name is Logan Dykes. I identify as a transgender male, and I use the pronouns he, him, and his. I will be attending Florida State College at Jacksonville this year and the next, and then I will be transferring to the University of North Florida, where I will study social work and pursue my dreams of children's advocacy. Now, to share more about my story, I want to unpack one of the most difficult times of my life, but the most rewarding. In my junior year of school, I decided that I was going to participate in what was called the Mr. and Miss Senior High pageant. Nothing could have prepared me for what was going to happen next. I knew that I was the only transgender kid to ever do something like that at my school, but I was determined. Faculty at my school tried to convince me that if I came out publicly, that I could control my own story and my narrative, but I knew that they didn't put much consideration into my safety. And the pageant judges ended up being told about my identity without my consent or my knowledge. And after that, on pageant night, I had to have a separate and unguarded dressing room that someone ended up walking in on while I was in the middle of changing. Now, I was overlooked, and all of these instances made me feel so hopeless and scared, and I wondered why I wasn't protected the way that my peers were. And people in the LGBTQ plus community experience that every day of their lives. And my story is only a fragment of those hardships. And I want to dedicate my entire working career to ensuring the empowerment of youth and to creating more inclusive and educated spaces. Thank you so much, PFLAG, and thank you so much, ViStar, for sponsoring my entire scholarship. You have no idea how much help you are bringing into my life to help me get to one step closer to achieving all of my hopes and dreams. I hope everyone is staying their happiest and healthiest selves during this time. Thank you again.
Thank you so much for that, Logan. All right, and now I have the distinct honor of once again introducing Frida Saraga. Frida will be coming back to present the Scott Saraga Memorial Scholarship. This is a scholarship that Frida and her husband made in honor of their son. So here's more from Frida.
My name is Frida Saraga, and my husband and I, Leonard, are awarding a $2,000 scholarship in memory of our son, Scott Saraga, who passed away 6 years ago. The award is going to Austin Farish, someone who has been very active in the gay community, someone that Scott would be very, very proud of to have this scholarship to further his education and do even more in the world than he's doing now. Scott would have loved all the things that Austin has accomplished and will continue to accomplish. With all our love, Austin, further your education and go as far as you can go.
Hello everybody. I'm so disappointed that I can't see each and every one of you in person this year, but I am so grateful that we have this platform to connect virtually this year. My name is Austin Farish. I study at Tulane University, currently doing a Master's of Public Health and Disaster Social Work. I do graduate in the spring and I'm looking forward to it. I wanted to talk a little bit about how important PFLAG was for me, specifically when I was a young person. I think it was in 1996 I went to my very first PFLAG meeting. It happened to be at the Unitarian Universalist Church on Arlington Expressway. The first person I happened to meet when I walked into the room was Frida. She was greeting everybody. This was so important to me because she was the first parent, the first adult that was affirming of their LGBTQIA child. This was such a meaningful time of my life and such a pivotal point of me going into adulthood. Without those lifelong relationships that I met within that group at PFLAG, I don't know if I would have been such a successful adult, and specifically would not have been able to finish undergrad without their help. All of the people that I met throughout those years pivoted me into my professional life, and one that I get to share at Jasmine, where I get to advocate every day for our trans and non-binary young people in Jacksonville, Florida. It's really important that I continue to do that work, and this scholarship will allow me to continue that path in order to offer mental health services in the area, as well as wherever I end up going. It seems like just yesterday that I walked into that church, and I thank all of you, the board members, the scholarship committee, and those that donate to PFLAG. It's amazing what you can do for the community, and I look forward to being a steward of Jacksonville. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see all of you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Austin, thank you for that, and good luck. We appreciate everything that you do for us in our community. And it's with pride, joy, and a high five that I introduce to you the magic makers and the hit makers of the squad known as Outjacks Radio Studios, Veronica Wilson and Kayla Huggins.
Hi, my name is Veronica Wilson, and with me is Kayla Huggins. We are the crew of Outjacks Radio Studios, the LGBT media studios of Jacksonville, Florida. The PFLAG Scholarship Fund is so important to us.
Yes, it is, because it supports our LGBT plus community by empowering our community to be the best they can be and to share those successes with all of us.
We thank PFLAG for asking us to help, and we thank you, the PFLAG Scholarship supporters, for creating a better future for our community. We wish all recipients the best that life can offer and many successes. Hi, my name is Veronica.
Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. At this time, I'd like to say thank you for joining us to all of our sponsors, our host overlords, Angel Renee and Mindy's Damulis, our fabulous cast and crew of Outjack Studio Radio, and all of our sponsors and donors that have given to us this evening. And with that, I would like to say thank you for joining us. And
yeah, oh, and you know what? Thanks for all the donations, you guys. Really appreciate ya.
Thank you.